how can you protect your assets against the crisis that's looming on the horizon? Most American wealth tends to look the same. A business based in America, property in America, and cash held in US dollar also in America. You can probably already sense that this isn't the most resilient strategy. Today, I will walk you through the three pillars the ultra-high net worth individuals are focusing on, and how some of them have managed to improve their returns by making relatively modest adjustments to their portfolios. Hi, if you are thinking about how to protect yourself and your wealth, and reflecting on what geopolitical tensions might bring, you are in the right place. In recent weeks, I have had the opportunity to speak with a number of impressive international investors. Every one of them is a success story, typically aged between 45 and 55, large-scale businesses based in Europe, property portfolios in their home country, cash reserves of several or even tens of millions held where? That's varied. Sometimes in Europe, sometimes dispersed across different parts of the world, but all too often without any clear long-term strategy. That sort of structure needs rethinking. It calls for a deliberate long-term plan focused on both protecting and steadily growing your wealth. Many successful entrepreneurs are already aware that this is essential, that capital must be managed internationally, and that not everything should remain concentrated in one country. What steps do well-informed entrepreneurs take? If they run their businesses, for instance, in America and earn in dollars, it follows that their other assets ought to be positioned elsewhere, ideally in a different country and in a different currency. The same applies to property. If an American entrepreneur invests in real estate, it shouldn't be located in states. Importantly, more and more business owners recognize this and are ready to make changes. In the past month alone, 3 entrepreneurs have come to me, annual turnover ranging from $10 to $100 million, huge deposits, property portfolios made up of flats, land, and development projects, all in their home countries. We are now working on a strategy to bring proper structure to this. So, what can be done when a substantial fortune has been built, yet everything remains concentrated in one jurisdiction? First of all, and I know I repeat it endlessly, you can and frankly should open a bank account abroad. The dollar is no longer as strong as in previous years. The earnings on stock may not be so effective as they used to be before. What sort of returns are achievable in euro today? In a well-structured, conservative portfolio built on 50 years of historical data, not a convenient selected 5-year track records as some like to present, but 5 decades, one might reasonably target around 6 to 7% in euro. If you recognize that your current wealth strategy isn't resilient under stress scenarios and you would like to address that properly, feel free to get in touch. You will find the link in the description. One of my clients who remains very heavily involved in his businesses in his home country decided to allocate part of his wealth to Switzerland. He felt increasingly frustrated. He had worked incredibly hard for his money, yet struggled to position it properly before. Until this year, the bulk of his funds were sitting in Polish deposit accounts. He also had some capital with Swiss bank, but unfortunately, that too was generating rather poor results. Why didn't it work? Because nothing works by accident. Every serious decision in business, whether it's acquiring a car fleet or hiring a new CFO, it is a process. It requires time, scrutiny, and commitment. It doesn't simply happen. The same applies to investing. Some of my clients hold portfolios in Switzerland that delivered 17.5% last year. But that wasn't luck. They approached it properly. They took the time to structure the portfolio carefully and selected the right partners. Not every Swiss bank account will deliver the same outcome. And let's be clear, generating strong return in a rising market, it's not a real test. The proper way to assess a Swiss asset management team is to ask how they performed during periods of crisis. I have met several asset management teams in Switzerland. Only one was fully transparent about how their portfolio performed during the turbulence of 2022. That tells you a great deal. When choosing a team to manage your wealth, do your homework, ask difficult questions, look beyond marketing materials. And if you need help, call me, we will help you. Because strong results in 2025 do not guarantee competent management in 2026. Consistency across cycles, this is what matters. Another point, today very accurate one, is the purchase of physical gold. A large number of investors come to me when they are already heavily allocated to gold. In principle, that's a very good thing. One only has to glance at the current price to conclude that it has been an excellent call. Today, it's $5,200 per ounce. Let's move on the technical aspects. One should remember that in Switzerland, investors tend to buy 1 kilogram bars, that's the format most commonly traded, and preferred locally. Is it a problem to store physical gold in Switzerland now? Look at this. The client of mine approached me. He owns 300 pieces of 1 ounce of gold coin. 300 pieces. It's roughly 9 kilograms of gold. The smallest safe deposit box, typically capable of holding up to around 40 kilograms of gold, generally costs in the region of 150 to 500 Swiss francs per year, depending on the institution and location. It's nothing. This guy keeps $1.5 million assets at a cost of 150 Swiss francs in Switzerland. The third aspect I'd like to address is property investment. Many investors I speak with have chosen to significantly reduce their real estate exposure in their home country. The reasoning is straightforward. It represents yet another layer of concentration risk tied to one market. This might be also American market. One investor reached this conclusion after we compared performance metrics. His original property portfolio was generating an average annual return of around 5%. A comparable allocation in Switzerland, by contrast, was producing returns in the region of 9 to 11% per annum in Swiss franc. After carefully reviewing the Swiss market, this particular investor made a decisive move. He sold all of his properties and redirected his capital to Switzerland. The currency in which you invest, the jurisdiction in which you hold assets, and the structural resilience of your wealth, these are not secondary considerations. They are crucial. In the next video, I will share some practical insights on how to approach property investment in Switzerland properly. You're welcome.